Welcome back to Gen CFB. I'm Jessica. She's Lucy. We are handing out September awards today. I can't believe we're already 1 month into the college football season, Lucy. And this whole football season, we are feeling the cheesiest with Cheez-It. And we're going to be recapping football every week here on Gen CFB. Lucy, welcome back.
I'm happy to be here. Did you know Cheez-It gives out like a Team of the Week award?
Wait, no,
I didn't feel like. I feel like we should choose that.
Yeah. How do we get?
What's up with that, Cheez-Its?
Can we give them a call and tell them that we want to pick the Team of the Week?
Are Cheez-Its allowed to own phones? I know they're allowed to play football.
They have helmets and shoulder pads.
So they probably have like a
helmet communication.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Well, okay, why don't we just get started then? Cheez-It, give us a call. We're going to start with our game of September, the best game of September. And Lucy, we don't have many nominations for this award because I think we all agree it was the game that you and Taylor attended this past weekend when number 2 Georgia went to number 4 Alabama, and they lost. But they lost valiantly because what a comeback in the fourth quarter. That was quite a game. Tell me how your weekend was. How was the Alabama game?
This was an awesome experience. Alabama was actually the Cheez-Its team of the week. And they deserved it.
They
deserved it so much. And absolutely just like, it's almost hard to describe just like the atmosphere with this. Cause like that was my first time at Alabama. Amazing atmosphere. The fans are really intense. It's like, it really does feel like a whole nother world than like the other places we've gone to see. It's honestly like there aren't words where it was just also just like Alabama in the first half. Holy shit, this is going to be an ass kicking. I was sad because I was like, I really wanted a competitive game, but happy because my curse was over. And then Georgia coming back didn't necessarily feel like Georgia coming back. It was a very slow burn. And then all at once, everyone sort of looked around and were like, holy shit, we're like so close to this happening. Oh my God, Georgia's going to come back. Just a completely tale of different two halves. Like, it's such a cliche, but just, I kind of wanted Georgia to win at the end, just the way they came back. That would have been the largest comeback in Georgia history. I believe maybe SEC history, definitely top 5 history. I left that game and I'm curious how you feel, Jess, being like, I think Georgia's better than Alabama.
I certainly left the game thinking about if they'll play each other again this season, which is very possible either in an SEC championship game or a playoff, even both. We could get 3 Georgia Alabama games this year, I suppose.
It's bad shit.
And I don't know who I would pick if that were the case, if they were on a neutral field, because Georgia was favored in this game. And like you said, they came back and took the lead after Alabama was up 28-0. And then we all saw that incredible Jalen Milroe to Ryan Williams touchdown to win the game for Alabama. Holy shit, what a play, Lucy. I have to imagine the stadium was going nuts after that.
That was batshit crazy. I have rewatched it like 100 times, and every single time I just like laugh hysterically because I don't think there's another appropriate reaction other than to just laugh really, really hard. He had the kill everybody eye tape. I saw that his NIL evaluation doubled after this game, and he was already worth quite a lot. Just like one of the most insane performances we've ever seen. And I know that we hear it all the time, and they never stop talking about it, that he's 17 years old. But I really do think we have to acknowledge that he's 17 years old.
I know. It is crazy.
He's supposed to be a senior in high school right now.
It's unbelievable how talented he is, and going against a Georgia defense. Alabama's offense was so good. They finished in the 91st percentile in EPA per play, yards per play, EPA per dropback, and they were in the 94th percentile in yards per dropback. So they were just like ripping off plays on offense all over Georgia, especially in the first half. I thought Milroe had a great game. I mean, I've been saying this since last year, the most electric player in college football. He is so much fun to watch. I was happy for them that it would have been devastating to give up that lead at home in front of those fans, but they were able to pull it off with that crazy play. And overall, Georgia had a rough first half. Carson Beck wasn't himself. There were a lot of turnovers, and I don't know if they play this game again, if that is replicable for Georgia. I expect them to be more prepared for the things that Alabama were throwing at them. But either way, this was an awesome September game. I'm so happy we got to see this one. For anyone saying the games don't matter, man, that was a fun college football game.
That game mattered so much. It was very Murphy's Law for Georgia in the first half. So, that's why I think that, if this game was played again, Georgia would win. Because literally every single thing went wrong the first half of that game, and they still managed to bring it back. Jess, did you know that Carson Beck is dating a Cavender? I did not know that.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, weird. Learn that this weekend.
How about
not that adds anything to anything.
No, this is the right format for that fun fact, Lucy. I don't know who else would be talking about that other than us. But yeah, Kalen DeBoer, 30-3 as a P5 head coach now. And Alabama continues their streak against Georgia, even without Nick Saban. So, man, Kirby has to feel terrible about that one. But I think Georgia rightfully is getting some credit for the comeback and for being able to like keep it close after what looked like a huge blowout. And a little scary that Alabama let them back in that easily. But either way, Alabama gets the win, so they deserve most of the credit.
Yeah, they are the Cheez-Its team of the week for a reason. I do think it was funny with leaving the stadium. Taylor and I kind of talked about this a little bit. We're like, if that game had happened and it were Iowa playing, the entire town would have been shut down. Like, you wouldn't have been able to get anywhere. Everyone would have been partying and crazy and stuff like that. Very mild.
Really?
Very chill. Yeah, like even in the elevator, like going up to the press box, like the vibe was just like, how did we let them come back and not, that was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my entire life, and I'm so happy we won. And I was like, screw you guys.
By 11 p.m., they were on to Vanderbilt.
That's so, I mean, people always say when you win, like, act like you've been there before, right? Like, to fans that are being obnoxious after big wins. Alabama, they have been there before so many times. And so has Georgia. So, like, really, this is business for them. They're just going to keep the train on the tracks for the rest of the season. Maybe you'll get a rematch. And maybe that one will be for some sort of title. But that was a really, really fun game. But, Lucy, we have to move on because we have so much to cover in so little time. Our next award is the New Coach, New You Award. And these are our nominees. We have Indiana, New Coach, New Indiana, Curt Cignetti coming in and taking Indiana to a 5-0 record for the first time since 1967. They beat Maryland this past weekend. We have the Penn State offensive coordinator Andy Kotelnicki, who has been calling plays for the Nittany Lions this season. Penn State's got a fun offense. They beat a ranked Illinois team on Saturday night. They didn't have many explosive plays in the game, but I thought they won very decisively, even though maybe the scoreboard didn't reflect that. And then our last nominee is D'Anton Lynn, the USC defensive coordinator. And USC's defense, I checked where they ended up in F+ rankings at the end of 2023. 100th. Their defense was 100th ranked out of like 133 teams. Right now they're around 40. So that's pretty good. And the season is young, okay? Like we have a lot of season left. But so far, big improvement from USC. They beat Wisconsin this past weekend, a classic Big Ten matchup. So Lucy, let me take it to you. Who do you think should win the New Coach, New You award?
Well, I was undecided on my decision for this, and then it was very clear when I went to the ESPN Playoff Simulator, which tells you what chance your team is making it to the playoff. Indiana currently has a 40% chance of making the playoff according to this simulator, which I don't know how accurate it is. You have to go Curt Cignetti because Indiana has never sniffed the playoff. You had that one like weird 2020 season, but like that is not a good football program. And what he has been able to do in such a short amount of time. Now, I know they're not playing like insanely great teams or anything, but like it's Indiana. Like, this is batshit crazy. It's so impressive. They have Michigan, Nebraska, Ohio State remaining on the schedule. My thing is, I don't necessarily think they'll beat Ohio State, but Indiana always plays Michigan close and just can never get that win. Like, it just never happens.
Didn't they? They beat them in the COVID year when Harbaugh was on the hot seat.
Yeah, and Michigan won, I think, like 2 games that season. But like, that's been sort of the narrative with Indiana is as they've gotten better, they still can't get that win. This kind of feels like the year they're going to get that win. I do think we should say New Coach, New You category, Big Ten heavy. Let's go.
It is really big. You're absolutely right about that.
Let's go.
Their offense is fun. They're scoring a lot of points. They played really well this weekend. Taylor, you found a good head coach of Indiana, Curt Cignetti quote. Can you read it to us?
Yep. When he took the job at Indiana, they were basically asking him, how are you going to sell your vision to recruits? And he just said, I win, Google me. And now he starts off undefeated at Indiana.
That's incredible. Okay.
That's really
good. So Indiana, the winners, congratulations. You won something this year. Hopefully you guys can keep winning stuff. Our next award goes for Our Expectations Were Low, But Holy Shit. And the nominees for this award, North Carolina. Taylor, your North Carolina Tar Heels, they lost to Duke after leading 20-0. Obviously, we had the JMU debacle last week. But then we have a couple of referee nominations, Lucy. The end of the Michigan-Minnesota game, a very controversial call. Onside kick was called back because of an offsides penalty. Chris Peterson said after the game, he was like doing the commentary on this. He said that the call made him sick to his stomach, which like it's not good when there's a call so bad that someone's like literally about to puke all over themselves. But then we had another debacle in the ACC game of the week Friday night with Virginia Tech and Miami, where the refs called the Hail Mary pass completed in the end zone. Then they reviewed it for like 10 minutes and said, actually, incomplete pass. One of the Miami players touched it while it was loose, out of bounds. So no touchdown. Miami wins. So a lot of controversy this week, I guess you could say. And our expectations were low, but holy shit, who should win this one?
This one's a tough one. I just need to take a moment to be kind of an asshole.
Go for it.
Kind of the worst. Big Ten refs, Minnesota. That must be really tough to have a game get called back for the ridiculous call on special teams. I could not imagine what that is like. And I just want to say there was a little tweet going around this weekend. So Minnesota is like crazy, which that was the wrong call. I'll give you that, Minnesota, even though it's karma and what goes around comes around. Yeah. That happened with 1 minute and 37 left in the fourth quarter. Cooper DeJean's wave that ended up getting Iowa's punt return for a touchdown called back that cost Iowa the game. Also, 1:37 left in the fourth quarter. That's how I know this is karmic retribution. Cooper DeJean tweeted like laughing faces, and I think ended up deleting that tweet. So, yeah, I don't feel bad for you even a little bit. Not even a teeny tiny bit.
So maybe ACC or maybe Big Ten refs, I should say.
I don't know. I think, can I just go refs in general?
Yeah, we can
combine it?
Can we give us the case for North Carolina?
I was going to say.
You sent me a crazy stat.
I thought they were really bad no matter what. So
even when we lose, we can't win shit. But I do have a stat. Only team in college football this season to allow 2 block punts. Last season, Carolina was the worst team in the country, allowing 3 block punts. Since Mac Brown took over in 2019, 9 punts blocked, the most in the country by a significant margin. It's a disaster over there in Chapel Hill right now.
That's incredible. Lucy, I got to see some ACC refs in action, Notre Dame Louisville game this past weekend. A couple calls I wasn't a big fan of, but you're right. Our expectations are always pretty low because I think refereeing college football is probably a really difficult job. And I
couldn't do it.
All respect to the refs. However, some egregious situations this past weekend. Does that mean that North Carolina is our default winner?
I don't want to give it to them. They don't deserve anything right now.
Fair enough.
I agree.
All right, Big Ten refs it is. You guys.
Big Ten refs.
Holy shit.
Welcome back, Minnesota. Hope you liked that. How you like them apples?
Lucy's not bitter about the Iowa game last year. Okay, Lucy, next award.
Worst call than that one.
The hottest seat award. The hottest seat award. Okay. We have Billy Napier, head coach of Florida. We have Dave Aranda, head coach at Baylor. Sam Pittman, head coach at Arkansas. Quinn Ewers, hot seat award. Is he going to lose his starting spot to Arch Manning? And Hugh Freeze, the head coach at Auburn. Ooh, Lucy, who do we think has the hottest seat?
I think I'm going to surprise you guys with my pick.
Okay.
The popular answer would be Billy Napier or Sam Pittman. I'm going to go Hugh Freeze simply for the reason that if I know anything about Auburn, it's that they'll pay a buyout. They love paying a buyout. So the Auburn buyout history over the last 20 years. In 2008, they paid Tommy Tuberville $5 million. In 2012, they paid Gene Chizik $7.5 million. In 2020, they paid Gus Malzahn $21.45 million. And then in 2022, they paid Brian Harsin $22 million. You think that they're going to bat an eye at Hugh Freeze's $21 million buyout? Absolutely not, because the way that Auburn is losing games is so unbelievably embarrassing, where they outgained both Oklahoma and Arkansas by both 100 yards plus. I think Arkansas, they outgained by like 200 yards, and they lost those games. They are -9 in the turnover margin. They are losing these unbelievable, ridiculous games, and then Hugh Freeze will lose a game this way, go to the press conference and be like, it's because my players are fucking shit and I hate those guys. They're the worst. And so he's not even like likable about it. He's not even someone you want to root for.
Lucy,
so
this is the problem.
Auburn.
This is the problem. If they fire Hugh Freeze, what if he runs for Senate? Okay, they need to keep him at all costs. We cannot have another Alabama or Auburn coach run for a Senate seat in that state. So I'm rooting for him. But I think I think that's a great call. I'm throwing Quinn Ewers out of this. I think he'll be back.
Yeah, he's fine.
I think he's supposed to play in the Oklahoma game next weekend, the Red River rivalry. But Arch Manning's he's doing a good job. Good job filling in. We're all very happy for him. And as far as the other 3 head coaches on this list go, I think it's very possible they're all fired before the season ends. So,
yeah.
Yikes.
The one that I keep looking at is Billy Napier, and I think what's so interesting about it is Florida does not have a university president currently.
Yeah, right.
So, like, he probably should have been fired a long time ago. I just don't even think they have, like, literally someone to be like, yeah, maybe we should do that. What do you guys think?
Well, I think you're right. I think Hugh Freeze wins this award, and we'll be right back with a little preview for next week and some more September awards. We're back for a quick Week 6 preview, and this season we are getting nutty with Hampton Farms Peanuts, the official snack nut of the tailgate. Taylor's got them right there, all 3 flavors. Thank you, Hampton Farms Peanuts, for sponsoring the Week 6 recap. Lucy, we have some more September awards to give out, and the first one is the opposite, the spiritual opposite of our expectations were low, but holy shit. This one is our expectations were high, but holy shit. And the nominees are Florida State. I don't know what else there is to say about Florida State at this point that hasn't been said, but they lost by like 4 touchdowns to SMU this past weekend. DJ Uyunglele now is hurt. They have to play Clemson this weekend. They're like 3 touchdown underdogs, I think. It's bad. It's a bad situation. SMU also is like, they're pretty good. I'm not sure how good. They're playing Louisville this weekend, which should be interesting. Louisville just came off of a loss to ND, which doesn't count as an ACC loss. So like they're still doing all right. They're ranked 22. And I thought Louisville's quarterback, Tyler Shuck, was very good. I was very impressed by him. But, I mean, we're on a very far down tangent at this point. So let me bring us back up to Florida State nominee. We also have Ole Miss nominated. Ole Miss played, like, their first real game of the season, like, Power 4 opponent, SEC opponent. They lost to Kentucky, missed a field goal at the end of the game. Brutal. And then we have Oklahoma State, who my expectations weren't that high for them, but I did think Ollie Gordon would be having a better season than this, and he has not played as well as he did last year. And, expectations for him, very, very high. So understandably, sometimes hard to meet those expectations. But Lucy, who do you think will win this, or who are you picking to win this one?
If I were an Ole Miss and Oklahoma State fan, I would be just on the verge of tears right now, knowing I'm in the same category as Florida State. Like, I would be so unbelievably offended. Obviously, it's got to go to Florida State just because the level of how bad they are is like, I don't know if we've ever. I don't know if we've ever seen someone just be that ridiculously bad after basically almost making a playoff. Like, batshit crazy. So, like, I don't even really want to talk about Florida State because what more can you say? They suck. They're just garbage.
Let's give a case for Ole Miss then. I agree with you. FSU, they win this award. Ole Miss, they're playing South Carolina this weekend at South Carolina. They're a 9.5-point favorite. They're still ranked number 12 in the country. So they just lost to Kentucky. Now they're going on the road to play South Carolina, a team with a pretty good defense. So South Carolina has this player, Dylan Stewart. He's a freshman. He's an edge rusher. He's like 6'6", 250 pounds. And he already has 2.5 sacks and 2 forced fumbles this season as a freshman, Lucy. And so far, it seems like Ole Miss's issue with Kentucky was that they kind of just got beat up a little bit by the defense, and the offense wasn't really able to like do its work. Kentucky just kind of like drags teams down into the mud with them like the Iowa of the SEC would. So I am interested.
Shout out Mark Stoops.
I'm very interested to watch this game. Who do you have winning Ole Miss and South Carolina?
So this is the game we're actually going to. I think something that's funny is South Carolina beat the shit out of Kentucky a couple weeks ago.
They did.
Beat them, I think, 31-6.
So they already have a transitive win in this game.
Yeah, they already have a transitive win. South Carolina and Kentucky are both like multiverse teams where they drag you into the fucking multiverse. You don't know who you are now. You don't know what's going on. You're playing their style of football. You're in their type of world. You can make it out sometimes. Sometimes you can't. So like, this is like South Carolina and Kentucky are 2 teams I look at where like the result against this team is like weird. It always stands out to me because they're just like odd teams. Ole Miss has already struggled against that. I honestly would not be surprised if South Carolina wins this game, just because of like the style of football they play is very similar to Kentucky, not in the sense that they're the Iowa of the SEC, which I don't. That sounded kind of derogatory, so I don't know what that means.
A team that punches above its weight, I think.
Yeah. I don't know if I even like that one either, but They're just teams that are like, they make you lose your will to live for 4 hours
That
on a
too.
Saturday.
I think that's a key
Because
description. Yes.
the way I would describe it maybe is, and I'm not speaking as a fan of either of these teams, I don't know if South Carolina or Kentucky fans have fun watching their own team.
Yeah,
and I think
definitely
that's,
not.
even though they win, I think that is the way to describe it. It's like, no one's going to have a good time at this game, which I guess is actually very Iowa. So you know what? Never mind. I take it all back.
And Lenore Sellers, South Carolina's quarterback,
coming
should be
back this
back
week.
after having an ankle sprain. So that'll be exciting. I'm excited for you guys to have fun in Columbia this upcoming weekend. Florida State wins that award, but now we're moving on to our next award. This is the I Don't Know What I'm Watching award, which Taylor tells me Navy is explosive. They're having an incredible season offensively. Apparently they're third in the country with 11 plays of 40-plus yards. That doesn't sound like the Navy I know. We also have Cal. Cal's nominated for this one. They're hosting College Game Day this weekend in Berkeley for their 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff against Miami, the 8th ranked team in the country. Then we have UNLV, ranked for the first time in program history. Obviously, we heard all the controversy about their quarterback leaving, NIL stuff, but their backup quarterback came in, started the game, and he put on a show against Fresno State last weekend. So they seem like they're doing all right offensively. Finally, Michigan, Lucy. Michigan for the I Don't Know What I'm Watching award. Michigan beat Minnesota. We talked about the controversy at the end of the game. Minnesota had a little bit of a comeback cooking up before all of that. Alex Orji finished with 86 passing yards. They've been running the ball on 65% of plays, which is the second highest in the Power 4, according to PFF. And they're going to Washington this weekend to play the Huskies, a rematch of the national championship game, Lucy. Washington's coming off of a loss to Rutgers, which included 3 missed field goals and a bunch of other shenanigans. But that is going to be an interesting one for Michigan on the road. So, of all of those 4 teams, Navy, Cal, UNLV, Michigan, which one do you not know what you're watching the least?
I'm gonna say, okay, so I'm gonna give you a 2-parter answer. I'm gonna say Michigan, Washington first, and it's not because I don't know what I'm watching, it's because I'm not watching it. I have no desire to watch it. But my actual answer, and I'm going to expand it a little bit, Navy and Army are both 4-0 right now. Like the Air Force is having a bad year, but the service academies are kind of kicking ass right now. This is the first time that Army and Navy have been 4-0 both since 1945. Since World War II ended, this is the first time both of these teams have started the season undefeated up until this point. Navy's offense they brought in Mercer's head coach to run the offense, and since then they have jumped from 125th nationally in total scoring to 9th to top 10 total scoring, a service academy. That is just batshit crazy and goes against all the laws of nature and what is and should be, and I love it. I don't know what's going on, but I love it. So I'm going to be patriotic, and I'm going to say that Navy and Army are my answers. And for Miami Cal, I know what's happening there. There were no other games this weekend.
Aww.
I know why. Respectfully, Cal did lose to Florida State a week ago.
Yeah, they did that, which was not great, but I'm excited for them. I'm excited for all the shit posters that are in their fan base. Michigan, Washington, the rare national championship rematch featuring neither head coach that was there last year. So we got a Sharon Moore, Jed Fish matchup.
Really none of the players either.
Yeah, right. Like, and Washington has an all-new offensive line. Michigan has some players returning on their defense, and they are going to give those Washington O-linemen hell, I think. But Michigan's not going to throw the ball. They're just not going to throw it, and they're going to keep running it until they have to stop, until the final whistle. That's the only thing that will stop them, Lucy, from just running it every single play. But you mentioned no good games this weekend. There is one ranked versus ranked matchup, and that is Texas A&M and Missouri. And that is our final award. It's the Don't Count Them Out Just Yet award. The first team nominated Clemson. Don't count them out just yet, Lucy. Clemson's still in this thing, especially in the ACC, and Texas A&M. They lost week 1 to Notre Dame, but they get a chance for redemption against Missouri this weekend in the SEC matchup against the number 9th ranked team in the country. Who are we not counting out?
I think I'm going to go Clemson, just because the way you have the rare situation where you got your ass beat by Georgia, which happens to most of us except Alabama. And you continue to live life and you don't let it destroy every single part of your being. Where like you could have gone TCU, you could have gone Florida State and just had the literal will to live and play football taken out of you. They've looked really good. I know they haven't played anybody crazy, Stanford, App State, but like they're looking really, really good. Cade Klubnik is playing good football right now. And especially when you're in the conference like the ACC, where things just like, there aren't a ton of competitors outside of Clemson and Miami. Like, it's just kind of a bunch of weirdness and like mucky, gross stuff going on. Clemson could easily make it back to the playoff this year.
I love that choice, Lucy. And we have a few seconds left. So we're going to do a bonus award for our September Heisman. I'm giving it to Jalen Milroe. I know Travis Hunter's having a great season. Ashton Jeanty, the running back from Boise State, is on pace for like 100 touchdowns this season. But Lucy, Jalen Milroe, most electric player in college football. Who is winning your September Heisman?
My September Heisman has to go to Jalen Milroe, just the way he's played. And I think it's so crazy just how much he's improved from last year. And he was really, really good last year. Like, he was a Heisman finalist last year, 6th in voting or whatever. Overall, I still think it should go to Travis Hunter, just because, like, what he's doing is remarkable.
No one's doing what he's doing. Yes.
Literally no one's doing what he's doing.
I don't know what I'm watching.
And the Heisman has become a quarterback award, and I kind of wish it wasn't, because I genuinely think what Travis Hunter is doing is just like defying the laws of college football again. But Jalen Milroe probably deserved best player through September. Yes, Travis Hunter probably best player in college football. Just an insane athleticism and like, what the fuck are you doing? This isn't normal.
Yeah, Travis Hunter played over 120 snaps against UCF.
That's shit.
Lucy, Jalen Milroe, congrats on the unanimous September Heisman Trophy Award. I mean, the first ever Gen CFB September Heisman. We'll send you some Cheez-Its, buddy. Lucy, it's been fun. Have fun at the game this weekend.
Thank you. Sandstorm, I don't know. Go Cox. Yeah.